Mr. Knox, I'm really glad that you're here today because I'm a big believer in the work that your agency does. I know that the big national parks out west get most of the attention, but my husband Bruce and I are avid hikers, and we know how lucky we are to be able to explore the many areas within Massachusetts that your agency supports. Bruce and I just walked Cape Cod National Seashore on Saturday, and we live within walking distance of Longfellow House and General Washington's headquarters, which are also managed by the Park Service. Massachusetts has some great national parks. And today I came here because I wanted to talk to you about the Taunton River. After years of hard work by local Massachusetts communities and by Congressman Barney Frank and Senator Ted Kennedy, in 2009, the Taunton River was named a wild and scenic river. Now, that's a term of art, not just descriptive. And this wild and scenic designation helps preserve our rich colonial history. It protects a uniquely diverse ecosystem throughout its entire 40 miles. The National Park Service describes the river as, quote, perhaps the most diverse and intact coastal ravine ecosystem in southern New England and the largest freshwater contributor to the Narragansett Bay estuary in Rhode Island. In other words, it's very important to us in Massachusetts. It's very important in the region, and we think that makes it important to the country. Unfortunately, as Congressman Joe Kennedy recently brought to the National Park Service's attention, the average wild and scenic river managed by the Park Service received 4 times as much funding as the Taunton River. And as you know, federal support for wild and scenic rivers is critical to leverage other supports of funding that we work on. So I'm concerned about the impact of these unfair funding levels on the Taunton River. So, Mr. Knox, I know of no reason that the Taunton River would receive such an inequitable level of federal funding. And I just want to ask you if you would commit to working with me to ensure that the Taunton River receives adequate support in the future.
Senator Warren, I'm aware that in the President's budget request for FY16 that's before the Congress, there is some differences in the funding levels for the wild and scenic rivers. That is now with the Congress, and certainly Congress gets to decide what to do with the President's proposal. I am not aware of the reasons for those differences, and so certainly could respond back to you with information on that. And we certainly would look forward to working with you on the President's FY17 proposal to see if that could be rectified.
Good. Well, as I say, I'm a supporter of what you do. I want to see us do adequate funding for the wild and scenic rivers, for the other parts of the work of the Park Service. But I also want to make sure that the money that is allocated to wild and scenic rivers is distributed equitably. I know that in a case like this, we are talking about very modest amounts of money, but it would make a big difference in communities like Fall River and Somerset and Taunton and others throughout the region. So I truly appreciate the great work that you and your agency have done in Massachusetts and across the country. I look forward to working with you to make sure that the natural beauty of the Taunton River remains protected for generations to come. I hope we can work on that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.